Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. Tonight, we're talking about the Nancy Guthrie case, and the task force is locked in. What does that mean? They have been on it since nearly day one, and we're going to talk a lot more about that because it's very significant. There's a lot to talk about on the other side of this.
I was standing in the ashes of who I used to be. Heart full of questions, down on my knees. They said the fire would finish me, but fire only showed what was underneath.
Thank you, Lord.
I've cried the tears nobody saw, pray the prayers past midnight calls. When the door stayed shut, when hope fell thin, he whispered, child, let me in. I didn't lose my voice in the waiting. I was learning how to soar. Every broken note turned into power when I trusted you for more. So clutch them pearls, lift your hands high. This is what it sounds like when faith survives. I've been through the valley, I've seen the flood, still I rise, covered in love. Clutch them pearls, feel heaven move. Every promise spoken is coming true. I don't sing because I'm unscarred, I sing because you healed my heart. There were nights I couldn't breathe, days I barely believed, but you stayed close, you called my name, said, daughter, you're not to blame. You turned my mourning into melody, my pain into prophecy. Every tear I cried became a door, and you walked me through the more. I didn't break, I became. I didn't drown, I learned your name. When my strength was gone, you remained. That's why I pray. So clutch them pearls, lift your hands high. This is what it sounds like when faith survives. I've been through the valley, I've seen the flood, still I rise, covered in love. Clutch them pearls, feel heaven move. Every promise spoken is coming true. I don't sing because I'm unscarred, I sing because you healed my heart. If my voice shakes, it's holy fire. If I soar, it's your
Thank you, Hey Jude.
desire.
Much
Pulled
love to you,
me
my friend.
up when I
Appreciate it.
couldn't stand. Now I testify. Here I am. You are my strength, you are my song. You carried me when I was weak too long. Every note, every breath, every part of me belongs to you completely. So clutch them pearls, let the heavens hear. This is victory, drown in fear. I survived because you were near. I'm still standing right here. Clutch them pearls, this is my praise, a life restored, a voice unchained. All the glory, all the honor, all the praise belongs to you. Always. Still singing, still singing, still singing. Amen. I've walked through storms in scars and grace, smiled through pain with a painted face. They called me too loud, too much, too strong, but honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's a twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plan.
Emily at 24 months. Oh my god. Thank you, baby.
I've been whispered about and written off, judged by the gloss, not the cause. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne.
Sorry, let the man sing
I'm
it
in a
along.
breakable storm, dressed in truth and pearls. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm in a unbreakable soul. Through the fire and flame, my scars are stories, my strength, my faith.
Else is big.
Faith in my heart, fire in my clothes, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Mother chickens, clutch 'em. What's going on? What is this? And why is it up there? Oh, okay, there we go. What? Can y'all see me? Hello, everyone. Good to see you all. Thank you all so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. We are doing Clutch After Dark tonight. I wasn't going to go live tonight, but here I am. And I thought might as well. I was trying to get my content pulled up for tonight and had a little camera problem. So we're here. Good to see everyone. Thank you all so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do really appreciate you spending time with me. Today is April 14th, 2026. It is currently 10:32 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. All. Hello, everyone. I love you guys. I truly do. You guys are amazing. Really, I truly just appreciate every one of you in here who take time out of your day to spend time with me and look at these cases and add to the conversation and all of that. And yeah, so let's get to it. Love you too, Miss Linda. Guys, before we get started, if you would do me a big favor, please hit that thumbs up button. Would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you would consider sharing this live out, hitting that share button, copying that link and dropping it into any of your favorite social media, would greatly appreciate that. Also, if you would consider hyping this live stream, you have to do that after the live is completed. So people in the live chat afterwards, if you would be so kind. And for the replay crew, you can already do it. It's right there, like where the comment section is and like the live chat. There's like a few buttons. You just kind of scroll over a couple times and it'll have like points and you'll hit hype or something like that. And you get 3 hypes a week. They're absolutely free. If you don't use it, you lose it. And would greatly appreciate that very much. So yeah, all that jazz. Also, consider becoming a member. Would always love to have you join the Pearl family. Truly means so much. Appreciate you all for just being here and spending your time. It means a lot. We're going to be talking about this task force um, was I was talking to Daphne, where her and I go back and forth on this case, literally Jack and Lily's case, in this case, pretty much all day. Um, just giving our thoughts and receipts of, things that we've learned and all that. And I was listening to our friend Chris McDonough from the interview room. Love Chris and Karen. They were, Chris made a really good point about the task force and that they have been on the case uh, since pretty much the beginning. And there's been so much in this uh, case that it's really hard to grasp everything, to try to remember and things that has happened. And you hear a lot of stuff, right? There's a lot of rumors and opinions and all of that in this. And the reporting is kind of everywhere, uh, unlike anything I've ever seen as far as reporting goes. It's a very, very strange case. So, yeah, all that stuff. Let me say hello to a few of you. Let me thank you guys. Enoch, thank you so much, my friend. Really appreciate you gifting Pearl Necklace. Really do appreciate you. If you receive that, make sure you get Enoch. Big thank you, my friend. Miss Lori, I hope there is a break in this case soon. Girl, me too. 70 days, too long. Wait. And there's my Judy Jude. Hello, darling. Thank you so much for gifting me the necklace. You received that. Make sure you give our Jude a big thank you. Carmelita, we are at 2 years, Mamacita. Thank you so very much. I really, really do appreciate that. Happy for anniversary, Justin. Thank you for all you do for them. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate you, my dear. Truly. Thank you, Miss Carmelita. Miss Roxy coming in at 23 months. You guys are the long haulers. I appreciate that. Truly, Miss Roxy. Almost 2 years. Love the Pearl family. I appreciate you, my friend, so very much. Good to see you. And Dean White, thank you so very much, my friend. Good to see you, Dean. Thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate that, my friend. And Hobo, thank you so much, my dear, for the pin necklace. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it, Miss Hobo. Hopefully you're doing good. Everything go good at the doctor today? Maybe text me if you want to and let me know. Linda, thank you for being 214. They're hitting that thumbs up or double tap that screen. Either one works. If you're in the mobile there. I need to find my timestamp. Oh, God. Did I just exit out of it? Please no. Okay. Hopefully not. Okay. So I want to find something here. Hi, Fire Girl. Good to see you. Hamitude, Summer Breeze, Leslie, Robin, Peggy, Shari, Christy, Brandy. Probably you guys didn't think I was going to go live today, did you? You guys were like, Justin's not going live today. And you were going to be right, actually. But I was actually recording a video. I'm trying to start doing some videos too, and all that. But okay, where is it? Okay, here it is. Okay, 2:15. All right. Sorry, I had to go to the timestamp here. I just really appreciate the so much knowledge on this panel. And I really think we have forgotten a lot of things that happened in the beginning. I mean, with this case, we're about at 70 days, right? But it seems like it's been uh longer than 70 days, if you ask me. Judge Brewer said that there was a leak. What leak does anyone know? Um, oh, thank you, Pam. Thank you so much. Haven't heard. Let me see. I'll tell you in just a second. Actually, let me see here. I'll tell you in just a second if there's anything going on. If there's a, when did he say that? Let's see here. Mm, what kind of leak did he say? Hey, okay, okay, Hippo. Thank you, baby. Oh, oh no, Hobo. We're praying, honey. He said that today. What kind of? What's Judge Brewer's? It's Brew Crew. Let me go to that real quick. I haven't seen it yet. Brew Crew Beyond 50. There we go. I didn't. I always saw that he was on. Um, I always saw that he was on Facebook. I didn't even know he was on YouTube till recently. So I really appreciate uh, him as well. And you know something, Chris, because I know like Chris watches me occasionally. Well, I'm sure probably fairly often. Um, Judge Brewer, I think, would do really good, in my opinion, on Chris's channel and vice versa. I think they are kind of very similar in the way that they think, the way that I think they've got like a good, they would have a good camaraderie together. I need to maybe text Chris or Josh or one of them and say, y'all need to, they need to collab together. I like Judge Brewer's just very, I like down to earth people. And just, holy crap. Hold on 1 second, guys. Something's really going on with this camera. um, hopefully that'll work. I was having camera trouble. But I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Oh my God, Miss Shannon. Thank you so much. Well, thank you so very much, Miss Shannon. That is incredibly generous of you. Judge Brewer on the panel with John would be heaven. John is amazing. Yeah, John is amazing as well. Thank you so much, Miss Shannon. That is incredibly kind, incredibly generous of you. Really appreciate you, Mamacitas. Very, very kind. Is it, Shannon, is it becoming fall or winter where you're at right now? You're probably enjoying the cooler where you're at. It's just starting to get warm here. Thank God. Thank you so much, Mama. Appreciate you. Very kind of you. Remind me of the porch guy hand right now. Oh God, Sam, don't say that. You know what? People are already. Let me just say something real quick because I always try to respect people's opinions on just about every case, except for Jack and Lily's case, which we cover. I mean, you're kind of a little uh, strange if you believe Daniel or Malay, if you ask me. But number two, um, I'm I'm getting that people I've heard, and again, I'm looking into it, but people are saying if you're familiar with the Sebastian Rogers case, that a YouTuber might have been involved in it or something like that. Guys, I have covered so many cases, and uh, you can ask Josh from the lab, Chris, any of them. There are creators that will say things in so many of these cases, like a YouTuber's involved or whatever. And that is the dumbest stuff I have ever heard in my life. They said that with like Summer Wells and things like that. Like, none of us know these cases until something happens, right? Yes, since 2020. Exactly. Hey, Jude. Do you know how many people have said that YouTubers, like certain YouTubers, were involved in Summer Wells' case? Now they're doing that with Sebastian's. And guys, I mean, come on. We have got to have some critical. I mean, I know my audience, they're very critical thinking. They use their heads, they're thought provoking, all of that. But there is just some of them out there. Justin, it's all over the internet. I mean, just please, guys, please. That's the just beyond anything. Kay, I'm getting hooked. Oh, thank you, Miss Kay. Thank you so much, darling. Appreciate you. That's so kind. Thank you for that. And thank you for being a member. Really do appreciate that, Miss Kay. Very kind of you. Good to see you. Welcome. Make yourself at home. Love to always hear your input on that. Claiming his brother was the porch guy, allegedly, and Nancy. I don't know. Silk, sick, uh, sick or sky. Sorry, I can't see him blind half. Justin, hear you. I heard this, and some channels are becoming just gossip instead of covering cases. That's par for the course. Par for the course. We're into true crime, and you know. Thank you so much, Kate. Appreciate you. And Jeannie, welcome, my darling. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. Really do appreciate that. Very much. It's good to see you. Really do appreciate you, darling. I only come here mostly. Thank you, Miss Carol. I stick with creators who are level headed and fact based. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I have no problem with speculating. I think, there are people that don't speculate any. But it is, as long as we know I always say, as long as we know it's speculation and it's our opinion and we share it as our opinion, um, to me, that's absolutely fine because naturally everyone wonders. That's the human condition. We all wonder. What I don't think is okay to say is that someone outright did something whenever we don't know. I think there can be questions for a lot of these people in these cases, of course, naturally. That's a good term, grounded speculation, yeah. But it's a natural thing to wonder and to want to put, you know, the human condition is to make sense out of nonsense. That is, we have to put things together to make sense out of it. But we got to do it responsibly. When there's a law, the craziness starts. Yeah, it's true. What's up? Yeah. Okay, we're going to give credit to Judge Brewer. Make sure you guys sub up to his channel. It is Brew Crew Beyond 50. And Mons, if you would be kind to drop his link, I just dropped it there as well. Brew Crew Beyond 50. Here we go. Someone was just telling me about this, so I don't know what this is about today, but I know Judge Brewer is very level-headed.
So today, we're not going to chase the headlines. I don't like to do that anyway. And we're not going to react. What we're going to do is we're going to break this down the way that investigators do, because when you look at it the right way, this leak doesn't just tell you something. It tells you where this investigation really sits right now. And before we go any further, let me get something straight, because a leak is not just information getting out. A leak is behavior. It's a decision, and every decision inside an investigation, it has meaning.
Okay, so I don't know. I'm a little lost right now on what he means by a leak. Does anyone know what the leak means? It's the accent, the way he pronounces his eyes. Yeah, we're Southern. I like his voice. He doesn't speak too fast. Yeah, I can relate.
So the question isn't what was said. The question is,
Absolutely,
why
Robert.
was it said, and why now? Because timing always.
Let's do this. Hold on one second. Let me go to AI. Let's see what the AI thing says. The leak that changed everything. Ask a question. What was the leak? Let me see what it says. In the video, the creator discusses the existence of a leak within the Nancy Guthrie investigation, but does not reveal specific granular details about the exact content of the leaked information. Instead, the analysis focuses on the behavioral implications and strategic significance of the leak itself. It signifies internal pressure. It acts as a signal. It's a broader instability. Okay. A lot of you are asking the question, what exactly is the leak? Here's my honest answer. There has been reporting, including from Brian Enton from News Nation, suggesting internal tensions within the sheriff's office tied to this investigation was handled, especially in the early stages. The leak isn't one single document or one dramatic piece of evidence. It's information coming from inside the investigation that points to possible disagreements on how the case was handled early on, concerns about the investigative decisions, internal pressure building behind the scenes. That's important because in real investigations, when people inside start talking, it usually means something isn't sitting right. The video isn't about rumor or speculation, it's about understanding what kind of behavior means and why it matters. Okay, so it's okay. Okay, so I think, yeah, I think we kind of, I think we knew that respectfully. Um, so yeah, we'll skip this one. Brew Crew, Judge Brewer. I don't really. Maybe he recorded that a while back. I don't know. Because Brian didn't put out anything new, did he? He didn't put out anything new that I'm aware of. Like there was speculate. I mean, maybe he's replying to. I'm just trying to think of what he was talking about, like why that would come up. Um, maybe he's speaking about whenever Brian had someone allegedly from the department speaking out. You know what I mean? There was this guy who called in another channel I was watching last night, and he was going on about how his family allegedly was involved, and they are satanic. Yeah, and allegedly there's 3 bags. Believe what's the saying? Nothing you hear and half of what you see. You're going to hear it. And you know, there's $1.2 million on the line, and that's what we're going to kind of get into, that about this task force, about things that they did in the beginning and about the $1.275 million on the line, and why no one has came forward. Now, yeah, most people would turn someone in for $1.275 million, right? And Chris makes an excellent point up here, in my opinion, and I've got some commentary on it. I mean, there is a lot of wisdom on this panel with lots of many decades of law enforcement.
And I don't think I think we need to be honest and not be naive to it, because unless it's, when you heard the sheriff say this case will be solved through technology.
Okay, it's a little bit back. 1 second here.
People who are involved, or family members, or people that are investigating, may forget that the public is not entitled to information.
Maybe it was right there.
TV show now, we're going, why isn't this solved in 30 minutes?
Okay.
Why hasn't Columbo come out and put his finger in the air and said one more thing and solved it, right? And this may actually be where
Positive
they
vibes.
can't
Good to
tease
see
apart
you,
the DNA
Mary.
profile for like a year. And then they have to use genealogical data, and then it might take many months after that. In other words, I think, and then the public gets bored, because let's face it, any day now, something even more horrendous is going to happen and steal the headlines.
You'll, you know, Sikaroy, I get what you mean. There's, you hear that a lot in these cases, though, like, people will say, you know, I've tried to contact the FBI, or I've tried to contact them a lot of times. And sometimes, occasionally, it is a legitimate tip, but sometimes it takes, but listen, if you leave an email or call in to the FBI, leave a tip for the FBI, they will contact you back if they feel that it's pertinent, and, like, you know, give it some time, little time, and you might be able, you know, if you think it's a truly legitimate tip, you can try again. You know what I mean? For instance, I've given FBI tips on a couple different cases. I really only contact them if I really think it's legit. A couple times, they have contacted me back and asked for things, and I've given it to them. And other times, they don't bother me, right? Like, they don't think it's nothing, I guess. So the FBI, they will contact you if you back, if they think that it's actually something. You know, they've contacted me in, you know, I'll say Summer's case. They did. I've talked to them in Summer's case, and another case that I've worked on. I won't say that one right now, but I will say Summer's, they've contacted me on.
And then what happened to the family? And then the other thing that's interesting is that, and this is where we begin to creep in the direction of the psychology of this stuff.
Yeah, the problem is, yeah, you'll hear that a lot. People, you know, you just don't know who's always behind the computer. You know what I mean? And there's, you know, people will say, well, my dad's CIA or my mom's FBI or whatever. There's a lot of people in the world, and, you know, some people, they're just not right, so they say things, you know.
Is that if you're dealing
You know
with
what I
a
mean?
certain type of offender, all of that may actually be feeding
Is it your
the
birthday,
motive
Susan?
of the offender. So that's the other problem, is you're making a
No, Wiccan is not satanic, not at all. Happy birthday, Susan P. Y'all say happy birthday to Susan P. Happy birthday, Susan P. Love you, darling.
Celebrity of an offender sometimes. And there are ways that could be used, but there are also ways in which one has to be careful, because you could have somebody like a Kohlberger, for example, who's sitting there getting off on the idea that there's nonstop coverage and talking about every little thing. I mean, even today, if
this is a good point. Now listen to what Dr. Gary says right here. This guy, which I don't know, I don't, some, especially if they're like a serial, a psychopath or a serial unaliver, which I don't think this guy's a serial unaliver in my opinion, but he could be a psychopath. He could be getting off on all of this attention that is truly world renowned, right? I mean, you got to remember there are people that will commit crimes and spend their whole life in prison and take another life and destroy the family's life and destroy their own family's life for attention, for their name to be recognized in the history books. That's crazy. That's crazy. But it happens, especially like incels and stuff. And Dr. Gary, right here, he's going to give you case in point, Brian Koberger, who is a creepo factor, right? Creepo factor. And everything, he loves being talked about. He never got any attention by women or men, or anything, anybody. And now, listen to what Dr. Gary says. Oh, Dreamcatcher, thank you so much, darling. Appreciate that, Mamacita. You received that in free thank your Dreamcatcher. Really appreciate you, my love. Really, really appreciate you. Good to see you, Miss Dreamcatcher. Make sure you thank our dear Dreamcatcher if you received that. And hey, Deb, good to see you, my friend. Thank you so very much for your support, my love. Really, really do appreciate you. Good to see you. Thank you, baby doll. Appreciate that very much. Yeah, I do too. I love Chris and Karen.
Brian Kohlberger said to a guard, "I don't drink coffee. I only drink Ovaltine." It would be the front page of the newspaper. Brian Kohlberger reviewed.
That's true, right? If Kohlberger said, he drinks Ovaltine, it would be truly in the front news
Ovaltine
of the newspaper.
It would be the front page of the newspaper. Brian Kohlberger reveals especially interested in this type of drink, as if anybody gives a flying leap about the offender's interest in drinks. And yet we talked about Brian Kohlberger's taste in bananas for weeks.
Brian Kohlberger's taste in bananas. Get him out of his own cell and put him in general population. And he will be talking about different tastes of bananas, that is for sure.
So what I think is there is this very peculiar thing going on in the culture, and I think it has affected this case very badly. Now, I'm curious if you guys agree with that.
I agree with it.
Yeah.
And I want to dovetail into what you're saying. I think there's two, and this is also going to be towards the law enforcement arena. Okay.
Right.
Remember, everybody on this panel, we didn't have any of the stuff they have today.
Yep.
Well, that's another.
Now, this was one of the points I want to make right here, because I personally love to hear people like Chris and all the very skilled law enforcement up here. Bob, Dan, John, Dr. Gary Picardo, his wisdom, Dan Stover, all of them. And he's right. They didn't, I mean, when Chris started, and a lot of these guys, they did not have all of this technology It was the only technology you had was really a pen, a paper, and your 2 damn legs to solve these crimes, right? Like, that was it. That was really it. And Chris makes a really good point here. This needs truly old-fashioned detective work, and he points something out, and I'll talk about it in a second. Birdie, how you been, darling? Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate that. Good to see you. You have a Dane? That is beautiful. That is beautiful. My girlfriend I used to work with, she had 2 Great Danes. Oh my gosh, they were like horses. Thank you so much, Birdie. Appreciate you, my friend. If you received that, please thank our dear Birdie, and thank you for being a member here on the Pearl family as well. Little Black Bear, Ovaltine was that not a healthy drink? Yeah, they put vitamins and minerals in Ovaltine to make it better for the kids
The story.
or adults.
Well, but
Social
I'm-
media and
But
yeah.
where I'm going with this is there are 2 shifts taking place. There's
Mhm.
not only a cultural shift, there's an investigative shift taking place.
Yes.
Okay. And I don't think I think we need to be on.
Yes. Where now, like, I've done different classes, and they're always wanting you to do, like, now they're offering so many forensic classes because it truly is a new world. And with AI, it's just going to it's going to become even crazier. But sometimes in these cases, it doesn't matter how much technology you have if someone's not on the beat, uh, going and really getting in the nitty gritty of it. And I don't mean uh, Catalina foothills where the homes start at $500,000 either, right? We're not talking about places like that. We're talking about some rough areas.
Honest
Listen to what Chris says.
and not be naive to it, because
Right.
unless it's when you heard the sheriff say this case will be solved through technology,
Mhm.
that was a huge, like, are you kidding me?
Listen to this.
Okay. Because at that point, that breaks into what Dan Stover was talking about, and what we started this follow the bouncing ball. If you don't lock in the ability to communicate right off the get-go,
Listen to
okay,
this.
you're hosed.
You're a host.
You are absolutely hosed. You'll notice that the best homicide guys are to what you talked about, Gary, Dr. Picato. They're able to walk up to an MS-13 member and say, "What's up, man? How you doing tonight? I'm
Listen.
sorry to meet you under these circumstances. My name is blah, blah, blah." Or, that guy who just blew up the World Trade Center, okay, and you want to sit down with that guy, how do you get him to tell you why he stuck the axe in his grandmother's forehead? Okay. That just doesn't happen. Okay. That happens because you don't have technology. You don't have DNA. Just check the boxes. What I'm afraid of and what I'm seeing in this case, okay, is pictures like this.
Listen, look at this.
You see, talking to the family is one thing, and then discovering additional information that take you to the family's house.
Okay. And just think about this. If someone was hired in this, right? It's likely the first person that they spoke to try to hire somebody didn't work out, right? Or the person that was hired, for instance, they have told someone, they've leaked it to maybe a very, very close family member. And like the guy's girlfriend, wife was on the phone talking to her girlfriend, it leaks out. You gotta chase the beat.
With evidence bags is another thing. With a Celebrite UFED machine,
We don't know. UFED, listen to this.
where you're downloading.
This is the thing that we don't talk about enough. This Celebrite UFED machine. Nobody hardly talks about this part. And some people don't think it's that big of a deal. I do.
All of the electronics to tell you a story. Okay. That is because there was some conversations or something that focused
Listen,
the investigation towards this. Something happened somewhere in the chain of communication. Am I missing something? What say you guys?
It's a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Very
an
good.
excellent point. I think the thing, Chris, and I would ask a question, and you nailed it, that investigators nowadays they go in apparently, and I'm painting with a broad brush, so I apologize in advance. But the newer breed,
baby kisses. Celebrate it's a company, and they look at like text messages, call logs, contacts, phones. They're the ones like they're the best of the best though. What happened before someone disappeared? They can get information that
of investigators
really,
apparently presume, as the sheriff did, that this case is going to be solved with technology.
listen to this.
I would ask this panel, gee, how did we solve all those other murder cases we had without technology?
Yep.
Okay, you get
Got 'em.
out, you wear out shoe leather. There's an old-fashioned
Yeah.
concept.
They are.
You get
Yep.
out on the streets. You when they call you, when you tell your patrol cops, you tell, if you find somebody that's under the influence of meth and maybe he wants to go to jail, maybe you can maybe you can go the other way. But if he has information on a case and it's righteous information,
Yes.
I don't care when you call me. I'm coming from my home and I'll talk to him. And if it's good information, you can give him his walking papers. And this is where I see
Don't know.
detectives losing contact with the streets. This is where these cases very often are solved.
There we go.
Yeah, that's a
See?
great point. That behind the scenes, this suspect is watching everything that we're doing here.
Yes.
They're listening. Okay.
He
And
is.
You get to a place where you're like, okay, I need to tap into that network, whatever that network is. Okay. And you only do that by what we talked about earlier. If in Chicago, Dan, I'm sure you guys would run out to the precincts, right? And go to the patrol briefings and say, okay, this is what we had last night. I need some help. I need info. And they're going to hit the streets. And Danny talked about it as well, Danny Aarons. They're going to hit the streets and they're going to go to their contacts and their informants.
Listen to this
And
right here.
Their snitches, and they're going to grab somebody with some dope, hypothetically, and say,
I mean, exactly. I really think it's been very complicated. I truly believe if the FBI was really on this on day one, at least two, that we would be a lot further along. And when someone is over the case, the FBI is only assisting. They can only do what they can do. If Pima County is lead on this case, again, they can give you all the information you want. But if you have a prideful sheriff there who is not accepting it, is stifling them, then they can't do the beat like is needed. For instance, if I call him Sheriff Doofy or Sheriff No Nads, if he would tell, the FBI, go do it, whatever you need to do, I'm sure that they would do it, but he's not. We know this based upon the things that he has said, the things that he has done in the past 10 years with the FBI, that he's just not the kind that's going to do this. And he has really snuffed out the FBI because of his own, in my opinion, personal reasons, because of his the FBI investigation that they did into him.
Hey, you know what? Okay, this is just a small quantity. Okay, you owe me. Step on it, crush
Not
your
at all.
pipe. Okay, you're tweaking out here, but here I'm looking. Have you seen this guy before? Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, I want to know I want this guy's shoe size. You got it? Yeah. And this is what's happening. It's like
and so, for instance, Sheriff No Nads, he's saying that this will be solved with, technology, which it could be. It could be. We don't know. But it seems like, based upon some of the reporting, that they were having a hard time finding a vehicle, going in and out of that area during the time Nancy went missing. And again, there's not really been that many searches for Nancy. They haven't said, if you have seen this vehicle between the hours of this and this, in the area of this and this, like a specific vehicle, a specific time, to call us, right? If Sheriff No Nads would have the FBI on it, and they were, because the FBI will go in some places, right? Like they'll get it done, and they'll talk to the rug dealer and informant, and if they've got a suspect, and they'll get information to his contacts and all that. It's so, I don't know if we're seeing that now, which is we don't know exactly what they're doing, but it doesn't feel like they're doing that, because again, they've not given any more. I don't believe we would have this guy's photo if it wasn't for the FBI on this. And remember, FBI put out this, which I was kind of surprised that the FBI went ahead and put this out. But what's the FBI director? I can't think of his name right now. Kash Patel. He put this out, and again, Sheriff No Nads seemed a little bit pissed off. And you would think, again, and I've said this for weeks, and people are now starting to say this, why haven't they give us any more information on him, other than he's might be 5'9" to 5'10" and have like an Ozark backpack, right? You don't know. And if you don't know, then get the an FBI on it more.
Like a domino chain reaction. Okay. That's why the gang task force is involved in this thing. Okay. And I mean, think about that. An 84-year-old woman disappears out of her house, and you have a gang task force involved?
Here we go. Listen.
What's that all about?
Now, this is interesting. This gang task force. Okay. So we're kind of talking about today. This gang task force that has been in this since very early on in this case. That's what I'm saying. Like, we forget about, for instance, the Celebrite. We forget about this task force and all of this, because there's truly so much in this case and what we've heard and what, it's hard to remember it all. But we forget about it. And listen to this.
Okay. Well, we're telling you what that's all about.
And the thing is, Chris, you know that there's a $1.2 million reward out there.
Here we go.
You don't think that the criminal element isn't jabbering about this, that they're trying to figure out who it is, because they're trying to figure out who might be involved.
Bother him for us, Miss Rika.
$1.2 million is a lot of money. And if they can...
Listen.
These people would roll their discount Judas Iscariots. They'd do it for $10.
That's right.
So 1.2 million.
Yes. And you don't think an informant is going to roll for $1.2 million, or a rug dealer, or someone in jail or prison? Come on. Now, someone's got to know this dude. Someone's got to know this dude. This dude, I don't believe is family at all. Again, doesn't mean family or friends isn't connected, but someone's got to know. Like, everyone knows somebody. And he's probably local. But again, why is nobody rolled that we're aware of? To me, that says it's pretty close to Miss Nancy.
If you don't think the criminal element isn't trying to find out who's responsible for this, think again.
Oh, yeah, the jail's lit up, right? How many snitches want a deal, Dan Aarons, for hey, I know who did it, man. Can you talk to the DA?
Love you, Pam.
Get me 5 years?
Yeah, that was pretty common all the time in Southern California where we worked. You have jailhouse snitches that come out of the woodwork in cases like this. And, but going back to the whole shoe leather business, one of my favorite TV detectives was Hieronymus Bosch, who used to always, he'd say, just get off your ass and go knock on doors. That's the way you get that's the way you get it done.
You got to create your own luck.
Yeah.
And you're not going to do that by sitting on your ass. You got to get out there and talk to people.
Yeah.
And Michael Connolly knew this because he was in LA Times. He worked at Parker Center. He knew Jigsaw John.
He was embedded with robbery homicide for 2 years before he started the Bosch series. Yeah.
There you go. So when you see things, and this is a great segue into this next picture.
Holy shit. Someone just sent me a picture of someone, and damn. It does look like does remind me of this person. I'm waiting for some information. Hold on.
And when you see things like this in the middle of the night at the daughter's house and the son-in-law's house, does this raise any red flags from an investigative analysis aspect to you, anybody on this panel? Not saying it's connected or they've done something. That's not what we're saying. I'm asking the question. These are the evidence folks at the house where Nancy was last seen, allegedly, having dinner, playing games, and they're in there taking photographs, maybe running an alternate light source, and they ultimately come out of that house, okay, with bags,
Wow.
something in those bags, okay. Now, mind you, like the day before, okay, or a couple of days before, they're in the house with, hang on, this guy with the UFED. And by the way, it drove me crazy when the sheriff, and you guys keep me honest here, it drove me crazy when the sheriff said, well, yeah, we had the ICAC guys go over there, but that's not unusual. I'm going to ask any one of you guys, in the capers that you've worked, when the ICAC guys show up, are you going, what are you doing? I mean, what are you saying? What are you doing here?
Yeah. And I would say, well, then why wasn't that crew going to all the neighbors' houses and doing exactly what they did at that house?
Great point, Dan.
Yeah.
Aaron's.
Someone just messaged me some very interesting information, and I'm waiting for them to message me back. Very interesting. I'm gonna. Miss Dolores, thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate you very, very much, my lovelies. How you doing tonight? Love you, Justin and Pearls. Love you too, Miss Dolores. Appreciate you. Good to see you, Miss Dolores. And Paulette, good to see you as well. Thank you, Paulette. Love you, Justin. Love you too. Thank you, Miss Paulette and Dolores. Good to see you, my friend. I don't. I want to say something, but I can't. Right yet. Who said that a second ago? Deborah, you can message me. Yeah, people are saying a guy's name right now. And I'm not going to show his name. I'll say his first name. I won't say his last name, but I will show a face, maybe. And they're saying a guy named Michael. Saying a guy named Michael. And again, everyone is absolutely, there is nobody at all saying this person is involved or anything whatsoever. And I'll show you another picture. I'm getting some more information, and I just can't talk about some of it right yet. I've got some information rolling in. Look at those eyebrows. Look at that goatee. Damn. He's got that everyone's different in reminds me of Luke in my opinion. Yeah. He does kind of he's got that so like if I grew a goatee out, my goatee would be kind of similar color to him. Like I've got like it's considered a blonde, but I call it a light, very, very light brown, but it's kind of got like a reddish tint, in the sun or whatever. Look at the size of that fish, little black bear. So this guy, his name is hey, I see you. I'm messaging you some stuff right here. I know you're messaging me some stuff, but I'm messaging you some stuff. Getting some information in, so I just want to. One second, guys. Getting. Guys, give me 2 seconds. I need to speak to this person who's calling. Let me play Chris.
What do you think up there?
Yeah, I don't have a clue what those guys were doing at the house with 2 different station wagons late into the night. I'm presuming you're correct on that. I don't have a clue. We just don't know enough.
Yeah, the media was outside taking pictures. That's where that came from.
Yeah.
And they were taking, Brian Entin was live on News Nation with the flashes going off inside the house.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Before or after the sheriff came out and said that the family members and their spouses were not involved?
This was before.
Before.
Well, that has to figure into the interpretation, no?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Can I ask a question of
Sure.
you guys? Maybe you know this. It's a little sidetracked, but does A&T have any children?
Yeah.
And if so, what ages are those children?
I don't know the age, but they have a son.
Okay. Do we know approximately?
He's younger. He's younger. He's a younger boy, my understanding.
Like a kid?
I don't know his age. Maybe somebody in the chat, but we need to make sure it's accurate.
Yeah.
Laura said the son, they believe he's 18.
18. Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean,
I don't know. It's not confirmed from me.
yeah.
I've seen reporting all over the map. I saw one article that said it was 10. Another one said
We're
it was
getting
early
approximately 13, approximately
Yeah,
12. I don't think
and
people
I
know.
understand why they would that would be.
Yeah.
That would be helpful. I mean, especially if you're dealing with a
Very
minor who
interesting.
would be part of all this public attention and all that. In a
Yeah.
way, that might be one of the most appropriate things I've heard in this story, is to keep that out of the public eye, because if you're dealing with a kid, it could have serious psychological effects on a child.
Yeah, we can stay away from all that.
Don't you agree? That's a good thing.
But let's shift to the car, though. This is the car that they impounded, and these would have been the reasons, the telematics systems, right? But Honda has what they call Honda Link, okay? And depends on the year, from 2012 to 2014, they don't have factory telematics. But from 2016 to 2017, depends on the trim models, okay, then they have telematics. So We know that the car was held for
Listen to this.
at least 30 something, 40 days. Okay, or 30 something, 40 days at least. Okay. And then it was sent to a Chevrolet dealer in Tucson.
Okay,
And
we're going to get right back to this, but this guy does look like he's kind of got like a little scar on his lip. Do you see it? Remember how right there? Again, I don't know. I don't know. The eyebrows are uncanny, though, in my opinion. Hold on a second. Remember, there was something with this guy's ears. Where was his? Do I got a picture of it? Let me find this video. Hold on. Let's play this video a second. Let's play this video. Give me a second, guys. I want to see something here. I want to see the position of this guy's ears. Maybe it's the next one. 1 second. It's the next one. Give me a second. It's this one. It's the next one. Right here. I want to see the position of his ears. Let's see here. His ears. Now, his ears look low here, but it could be that they're being pulled down as well. Looks exactly like his shoes as well. I don't know when this photo was taken with the fish. Like, I really don't know when the photo was taken with the fish. The eyebrows, though, he's got very thin eyebrows. Look at, which a lot of people have double chins. I just want to say that as well. His lip, not really sure. Let me find it. A lot of people have double chins, but I'm just trying to like. Let me find this. His eyebrows, man. I don't know. I don't think it's him. I don't know. I think he's a little bit older, maybe, but the eyebrows are very interesting. The bottom lip looks like it has a dip. What's that? I don't know what the actual name's called. You know how it's like some guys will have like a dimple in their chin? You know what I'm talking about? They'll have like a dimple instead of dimples here, they'll have dimples here. Daily, where you been, girl? Okay, positive. I got you. Kelly, how you doing, girl? 9 months? What a legend. We just made a baby. Thank you so much. Love you, Justin. And the pleasure. We love you too, Miss Kelly. Thank you so much, girl. Appreciate you. You are a legend. Good to see you, my dear. And gifting a pearl necklace. Wow. Thank you, Miss Kelly. Appreciate you, my dear. Yeah. Yeah, Deb. Yeah, yep. Yep, Deb. I've got that. Let me see here. What's this? 1 second. Okay. When was this sent? I didn't get any pictures. If somebody sent me a picture, maybe is what's this? Has faced multiple complaints filed by the Arizona attorney dealer. Okay. I see you. I just emailed you something. Yeah, like Kurt Russell. They need. Okay. His right hand is kept while holding fish. Then notice the porch. Okay. A lot of people are saying that allegedly this guy has like really bad neuropathy or something, and his right hand stays cuffed. Is Justin frozen or is it me? I don't know. Let me know. Oh, you're fine, Maurice, honey. Am I frozen? He is frozen on my end as well. I don't know what the hell is going on. Can y'all hear me? Okay. I'm not frozen. Okay. A lot of people were saying like his right hand has like neuropathy, as I just showed you there. Mm-mm. No. I don't know, but you know, like someone can look completely different in different times as well. He was in a motorcycle accident. His leg compromised, hence the stiffness in his leg and hands, Justin. It freezes and unfreezes. Audio is fine. Let me do this. Let me do my camera at this. Try it like this. Okay. Plus, I don't know if it's YouTube or what it is that keeps screwing up. It's crazy. Okay. We're going to come back to this in just a second, but I want to talk about these telematics in this right here. Just want to stay on it. Okay, look at this.
Yeah, but let's shift to the car though. This is the car that they impounded, and these would have been the reasons, the telematics systems, right? But there's a Honda has what they call Honda Link. Okay. And depends on the year from 2012 to 2014, they don't have factory telematics. But from 2016 to 2017, depends on the trim models, okay, then they have telematics. So we know that the car was held for at least 30 something, 40 days, okay, or 30 something, 40 days at least, okay. And then it was sent to a Chevrolet dealer in Tucson and quote reassembled. Okay. But there's only a couple of things they could have gotten out of that. They could have gotten what they call, let me read this thing here for a second.
I,
The
Leslie,
CRV, Honda widely rolled out connective services
listen
on
to
the
this.
CRV. Some higher trims have basic Bluetooth navigation, etc.
Now, it's an older Honda, right? This is not a Honda that is 3 years old, right? The freezing and unfreezing is happening to many creators when alive. It's YouTube StreamYard, in my opinion. Yeah. I've got the fastest internet, and I would just check my connection, and I got a really good camera.
The telematic control unit TCUs and the EDR, which is called the event data recorder, are the only two things they could recover out of the older model
Mine's a
vehicle.
cord.
And there you're only going to get, the Bluetooth navigation, the opening and closing of the door, maybe some location tracking, depends on if they had a subscription service, etc. Remote start, vehicle status, locks, unlocks, etc.
Now, this one's not going to have remote start because it's like I want to say it's like a 2007 or 2009.
So would you guys initially go through that much to grab that out of that car unless there was something more to
All right, yeah, okay. And think about this. Is law enforcement, if they're not really interested in this car that Tommaso and Annie had, are they going to go to that length when they have so much going on in this case, right? If they can say, we know where Tommaso was that night, we know where Annie was that night, are they going to go to that entire length and say, yeah, let's just keep one of their cars and make it as inconvenient for them as possible? Beck, it might be. I can't remember. I can't remember what year it was. I've got it somewhere. Right? No, they're not going to. Yeah, they had two vehicles. I understand that. He had, but the problem is, why would law enforcement do all of that and keep it longer than anybody else that they have taken cars in? Why would they keep that vehicle longer than anybody else? Right? Why? Plus, this is family. Plus, went to their house multiple times. Absolutely. Plus, did the digital, or not digital, they did forensics inside with the lights, came out with bagged evidence, said that the vehicle was it was in evidence, and you would want to make it as convenient for the family as much as possible, right? You wouldn't want it to be inconvenient for the family. I mean, you got to realize they kept this car far longer than they did the Range Rover, far longer than they did the two vehicle of Carlos. Right? I don't know. To me, that's weird. Yes, but that means nothing, right? People, and what's up? You're absolutely right. That was supposedly the last ride Nancy took, but the crime didn't happen in that car, right? The crime didn't happen in that car. The crime allegedly happened after she was dropped off at the house hours later, and it has nothing to do with anything, right? It's possible someone else had access to that vehicle. Well, I mean, it would have to be, how would anyone else other than the other two? I mean, unless they gave someone access to that vehicle. It's very weird.
The problem.
Or they're just simply trying to confirm his version of events of driving her home and then coming back to his house after dropping her off.
No,
If
no,
it's got
no,
data within the so-called car's black box.
nope, nope. Sorry, sir. I totally disagree. You don't have to take the entire vehicle apart to get that data. You just don't. And again, Range Rover and Carlos's two vehicles.
With GPS tracking and that sort of thing. They're just trying to confirm his story to see if there's a blip.
But again, if this is a 2009 or 2014 even, there's not a lot of telematics there.
That doesn't coincide or corroborate what he told them in his initial interview.
Okay, what raises your hair on the back of your neck to want to not believe the guy?
Well,
I'm not asking to speculate. I guess I am, but
yeah, it's not necessarily you're trying to catch him in a lie. You're just trying to corroborate what he said so you can rule that out. A lot of our job involves ruling out evidence and suspects as well as trying to inculpate them as a suspect. So, we do a lot of corroboration in our job.
Yep.
And we do a lot of, we're also looking to, not prosecute or look at innocent people, if there's evidence that is contrary or is helpful to that person.
okay. So, anybody else? Dan, Stover, did you want to say something, or Bob?
I'm good. Thanks.
Okay. So,
No, I agree.
okay. So, Dr. Gary, you've seen the videos. We all have seen the videos. This guy shows up on the porch. Who are we looking at here? We've basically, for the audience, we would sit down with a Dr. Picato, others, in our area where we had parked eats, so we would work with Dr. Park, we'd work with Park and say, hey, blah, blah. Who did you guys work with, Dan, in Chicago for a forensics guy, if you had?
For forensics?
Yeah, if you needed to go that far. Do you remember?
Yeah, we had an actual forensic unit.
Okay.
That was citywide.
Okay. So in this case, we would sit down with Dr. Gary, tell him, hey, here's all the players, here's a victimology, here's all the stuff. And who are we looking at? What should we be thinking about?
Well, you're talking about like a profile person?
Not a profile, but right. We'd send that to the BAU and even there, again, that's just a tool, right? It's a profile.
Yeah.
Even from the BAU, it's like it's like a polygraph. You never really know until you sit down with the suspect and he says, yeah, you got that wrong. Okay. Like Rex Harriman. That's why they're going to go interview him. now that he's copped out and given all this information because they just want to learn, right? He's the bug in now, as Dr. Gary says, he's the bug in the jar now, and they want to go listen to him. But because, I mean, honestly, have you ever seen a profile solve a case? Anybody?
No, I have not.
Dan, you worked hundreds of cases. You ever see a profile solve the case?
Well, we didn't call in profilers a lot because a lot of our crimes were not whodunits. You know, you have your occasional whodunits, but the vast majority of homicides, you've got a suspect in custody either at the scene or within 24 hours. It's the whodunits where you want, and as the case ages, that's when you bring in the forensic psychologists to try and help you out, or a profiler. I mean, profilers it's just an investigative tool. It's a weapon that we use, or a tool that we use to try and figure out what's in the mind, and based on what they see at a crime scene and based on interviews they've listened to that we've conducted, they can kind of point us in the direction of a possible suspect.
Okay, it's 2015 is when the telematics really starts. It's Luke's mom did buy him a Range Rover. Yeah, Luke's mom bought him the Range Rover. Yeah. Why take the word of other things but not the car, and don't waste time or money unless it's for something. Exactly. I agree.
It may coincide with somebody that we were already looking at on the side, but we weren't really sure about it. Now you got a forensic analyst or a person like Dr. Bricado or Park Dietz who are really good at what they do, and they can really help an investigation.
Okay, so let's for the audience, I want them to understand very clearly that profilers are like the guy who has the stands in front of the pilot with the lights, with the two sticks, and they do this, okay, as the plane is coming in, okay, and as the plane is getting closer and closer, they go like that, and the plane stops. Okay. They give you a general idea how to steer the plane. That's what a profiler does. Okay. Now, why is that important to understand? Because it's kind of like a polygraph. Are you involved in this? Do you know? Do you this? No, yes, no, yes. It's inconclusive. Okay, that's fine. I get that. Now, this guy, though, okay, you sit down and you say, give me an idea of who actually flies the plane. Help me understand the pilot, because I may have him in the room over here. How would you help me hit the switches to get him to tell me what's going on in here? That's what a forensic psychologist does. Okay. And I've sat next to, I'll give you a Park Dietz when we had Brandon Wilson, who killed Matthew Checky. And Park, the first question Park asked me, he said, where'd they hook him up? I said, he's in West Hollywood. He said, let's make him famous. Okay. That wasn't a profiler. That was a forensic psychologist. What do you mean, Park? And we dove into it. Okay. And that's how we created a strategy for interviewing and for plugging him in. So Gary, we got this knucklehead on the porch. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off into left field, but I had to get to left field for the audience to understand, because they hear FBI and they go, oh, the FBI. Okay, the FBI.
We don't know Brown.
And what's the point?
No idea.
Okay.
Well, it's even more complicated than that, Chris, because to call yourself a profiler means undergoing very specific training by the unit. And
Right.
if you are in the true crime community for more than 30 seconds, you'll see that the word profiler is applied to anybody that's talking about the psychology of an offender who's had no training.
Yes, he's absolutely right there. it does take special training.
in profiling formally. And actually, I think it sticks in the craw a little bit of people who have done that
Knuckleheads with
training,
snakes.
because it's
I
an
wonder.
inaccurate term.
I wonder how tall that guy is that we was just looking at. Does anyone know? Oh, hold on a second. It's very interesting. Look at this. Hold on. I want to come back. We'll come back to this in a second. I'm just getting information. I'm just wanting this. He's a little bit. It's very confusing to me. Look at how I would love to see him walk. Look at how let me see how he puts his foot out. 1 second. Let me show you some pictures that overlap. I'm going to show you some stuff here. What's interesting to me is this right here. Check this out. Take Janie's wash a spinner off. I don't know. Okay, that's his right foot out. That would be his left foot, right foot. I would love to see him walk. He looks a little thick in the butt area, but could they have put a tracer on the car? Absolutely. Absolutely, but probably not. They have taken apart and to see if the black box would have been altered or disabled someone prior to Nancy being taken. It's a very old car, though. I have always thought that the perp seems male, but yet female somehow as well. It's baffling. I think the guy's a guy. I think he's with this guy. I don't get, which I could be wrong. We don't know, but this guy, I don't get that he's takes care. Like, I don't want to be rude or anything, but I don't get the feeling that he takes care of himself. Like, I feel like this guy is more of a pretty boy, if you will. I mean, I don't think he's like feminine, like I am, but I think he's more like the metro sexual kind of feeling. You know what I mean? Like I always say, like the buckle jeans. He wears a lot of cologne. He's got two, ice rings in his ear. He looks at himself a lot of. So that's the problem. DEA. It's the black and white. It is deceiving. It. He does his hair. Yeah. I mean, they're totally different. They're definitely not the same shoes. Which this could be older. I don't get that vibe. You don't get the vibe on this guy or this guy. See, I don't get, and again, it could be the black and white. We don't know, but I don't. That's the feeling I get from this guy right here. With the guy fishing here, I don't get that vibe. Right. I don't get the feeling of he wears the buckle jeans kind of thing. The fish guy doesn't appear to be as meticulous in his grooming. Yeah. Yeah. To me, this guy looks just like, his eyebrows and stuff are compelling. I do agree. But I think this guy's just a kind of what you would call, a regular guy. The guy that was talked about said his brother was meticulous about his eyebrows and does tattoos. Again, we can all look different at different times as well, right? Like, if you've seen me without being done up, you'd be like, fuck, Justin, God, you're busted all 7 ways to Sunday. You know what I mean? Like, if I was out in my garden and sweat's rolling off of me and, it's not really glamorous. So if I'm out fishing and stuff like that, you'd be like, fuck, man. It's bad. So, we're not always the same, is what I guess I'm trying to say. Like, humans are, but I feel like this guy's a little bit younger, or maybe hasn't lived as hard looking. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think he looks a little. Hold on, I'm getting some more information. I just got some information in 1 second. Dismissed on motion, request of prosecutor, plea of guilty, shoplifting, removal of goods, written promise to appear. Well, speaking of a bug, I had like my door open earlier and there's a mosquito in here. It's driving me nuts. I need to go kill it. Like, mosquitoes and ticks freak me out because find the next timestamp. Oh, wrong one. I've already had limes. I do not want freaking Zika. Okay, let me find the timestamp for the next one. Here we go. Right here. You need to get a dragonfly.
Feel out about this person. So, Chris, if you put the video up, if you don't mind, on the screen. Now, let me emphasize that person who knows you could mean anything. Doesn't have to be super intimate. They just know you. Could be a person who worked with you. Could be the mailman. Could be the guy who cleaned the pool. You guys know what I mean? Could be. So when we're giving those statistics,
people are just talking about him, Chris.
More than a passing connection.
We're just kind of comparing,
they're going to know contrasting. So then, when you look at this offender, what you want to do is try to imagine the psychology based partially on that person's intelligence. The first thing I do when
the thing about it is, Becky, Justin, I think they ought to go to that Mexican restaurant in Tucson and ask the chef or the waiter if they live in Oracle, Arizona, in my opinion. What's interesting about, like, when I think of, like, restaurants you're familiar with and you go to quite often. Okay, thank you, DEA, honey. you might get to know some of the people, and you might say, hey, oh, thank you. Someone just sent me this. This is interesting. Which this he had closed in that one, to be fair. So it kind of, I don't know. I could do some like AI and see if some big lines match up. Well, he's got the thing on. You can't do the lines. Never mind. Don't know what I'm thinking.
When I think about
but she could have had someone even at the restaurant knew her and maybe borrowed money from her or did some projects for her or whatever.
I have to step into that person's intelligence level, right? So this is not a person based on using the flowers in front of the camera and some of the other getting caught on the camera after, and all this other stuff. You start thinking, okay, the person's intelligent enough to kind of get away with this, but this is a person who did some planning and still did some pretty stupid things here, right? So this is not a top-rate intelligence here, right? I mean, we would all agree, right? This is not, we're not dealing with Stephen Hawking here, right? Am I correct?
Hold on a second. I need to do this. Hold on, just a second, guys. So I can clip this. So just give me a second. Hold on, I got to do this for Dr. Gary. 2 seconds, guys. So I can make it short. Okay. All right. Clip it.
But this is a person who did some planning and still did some pretty stupid things here, right? So this is not a top-rate intelligence here, right? I mean, we would all agree, right? This is not, we're not dealing with Stephen Hawking here, right? Am I correct about that? Okay. I mean, this is not Stephen Hawking. And then, so the first thing that I'm thinking about is you're dealing with a person who probably isn't the brightest bulb in the entire world. So we already are getting this.
Okay, clipped. Okay, there we go. I couldn't help myself. Lord, forgive me. I'm so sorry. But I couldn't help myself. Oh, God. I got a little twisted humor sometimes. So I don't know. Dr. Gary's humor is very funny to me. It's are there casinos in Arizona? Yes, there are. Watching from New Zealand, Nanos has done a very poor job on the case. We love New Zealand. Welcome. And FBI should have been in there that week as seen as she was taken from her house and blood at the door. And Matt left there. Yep. Maybe because. Yes. Yes. Who dad? Who dad? I did you who dad? Thank you, baby. 1 month rock star. Love you, darling. Appreciate you. Love you, Miss Who Dad. How you been, darling? Oh my goodness. Thank you, Who Dad. Thank you, baby. Appreciate you. That is so kind. Much love to you, Who Dad. If you received one of those pearl necklaces, make sure you thank our dear friend Who Dad.
Hope people are paying attention to this.
Welcome to Clutch Them Pearls, yeah, you're in the crew. Shine bright like the stars, this world never knew. We're dancing
Hudat, appreciate you very, very much, my friend. The guy looks Latina or Italian. You think so? Um, I think he looks like uh I think he looks like maybe a little Latina or, little mixed with white or something. I don't know. I don't know about Italian. It gets me every time. Sandwich, I'm getting right. I got another one dropping on J for A soon. I made it today. I laughed when I watched it before, but when you laugh, it makes me even laugh even funnier. Yeah, maybe a little like olive skin. See, I don't think he's got olive skin. I don't feel like he's got olive skin. I feel like he's got pretty light skin, but doesn't really matter your skin color. You can be, any skin color and be from anywhere, really. Stacy Michelle, how you doing? Thank you so much, darling. Appreciate you very, very much. Oh, I love you, Peachy. Thank you so much, my love. Appreciate you. Really, really do appreciate you, my dear. If you received that, make sure you give our girl, Miss Stacy, a big thank you. And thank you for being a member as well, Miss Stacy. Luke is very light. Yeah. Definitely Latina mustaches drawn on. So are eyebrows. I don't think they're drawn on. But you if you and again, I don't like to be like stereotypical or put someone in a box because people are very complicated and there's not, but some uh particularly groups of men uh in a sense will take better care, like they'll do more outlining with their goatees or their eyebrows as well, if you know what I mean. Um, and I feel like this guy really cares for himself. That's the feeling I get. I don't feel like this guy is, you know, uh, busting down houses that often. I just really don't. Manscape, yeah, yeah. Not sponsored, but if you want to, Manscape, call me. I'll grow a goatee.
A feel for a person. Then you start thinking about
Could be
the
Iranian.
outfit that the person brought and the
Could
things
be.
that they did that don't make a lot of sense.
Could be. Iranians are Persian, and Iranians are generally. I mean, it can widely, but particularly in North Iranians, they are very, very, very fair skinned, beautiful, beautiful people. Alex has 3 songs made and mentions several involved. The Luke wonder why. Nancy rented her guest house. She did it one time. He looks Hispanic to me and groomed eyebrows.
Like the holster, the way that the holster is being held,
Oh,
and the way that the gun doesn't match the holster, and all that kind of behavior. And you start thinking to yourself, additionally, this may not be a professional. So you have an unprofessional quality on top of not being especially bright.
He's not
Then you have
Stephen
the
Hawking.
fact that he looks so cool that you think, is this guy stoned? Is he some kind of psychopath? Now, I have to tell you, when I see
I mean, just look at the guy walking back and forth like this. It's so weird. This guy was dating my friend. He was from Iran and very, very about his looks. Yes. Which again, that can be any it just depends on the personality. You know what I mean? This guy seems he seems pretty calm. Um, generally like you would think real high energy, like someone that just unalived someone or is about ready to kidnap someone. I plead the fifth. I think this guy is I would say I think this person is anywhere from 30, no more than 40, 30, early 30s, mid 30s, somewhere around there, most likely. I don't think this guy's old at all.
Person who is doing something like this without looking scared at all, I start thinking they're a little bit on the psychopathic side because there's no concern at all, nothing beyond not wanting to get caught and stopped. There doesn't seem to be any threat that is causing this person to have physiological symptoms of nervousness. So then you start saying, why is that person's nervous system not acting normally? Even if if any one of us planned with everything we know about crime, decided we were going to go and do something like this, we would be a little nervous, a little bit. This person looks like they're taking a stroll in the park. I don't agree with the person in the audience who says that that's all BS. I don't agree. I think these
He doesn't want to be seen, but he steps right in front of a damn camera.
things are all logical. So, and if you don't agree with any,
Again, why did he step in front of a camera if you could say, why was he stepping in front of a camera whenever he had the back door? Well, I think he was using this front door they were taking her out.
please tell me. And
I think he was getting the car, and I think he was waiting for the other person to open up the front door, and they were going to carry her
in
out.
terms of my thought process here. So my sense is this guy, based on what I'm seeing on the screen, looks like this is not his first rodeo with crime. He's probably committed home invasions before
Love you, Wendy.
and has a kind of callous disregard. That can also be glimpsed by the fact that this person did what he did with an 84-year-old person, right? And looks like that, knowing that this is an 84-year-old victim, right? That's going to be
And think about that. Watch this guy. This guy has either at this time already helped commit this crime or he's about ready to commit this crime. And let's be honest, Nancy was either dead at this point or about to be, most likely. And watch him.
knowing that this is an 84-year-old victim, right? That's going to be bleeding and taken out of the house and everything else.
Okay, Daly.
So already we get a sense of a person who is callous. If you are a person who is callous, you don't become that kind of person at this person's approximate age. Chances are you have a sociopath.
Well, we know that we know around about what time this is, but we don't know the first time without the backpack.
The character structure is going to go all the way back to the time you're a kid.
On the 11th.
Conduct disorder precedes antisocial personality features, and you tend to see that stuff going back a long way. Now, why is that important? Because this person probably is going to have a history of prior criminal behavior, which means someone in prison might know them, somebody in a jail might know them, the local cops might even know them, right? That's important.
I mean, this is the thing. This is a very divided case, and I can truly, in most cases, once I've, kind of eliminated a lot of things, I kind of make a decision, where I'm pointing myself. But with this, there is, you look at the things that's happened with Annie and Tommaso. You look at the things that's with the dailies. You even look at, Carlos. And it wouldn't surprise if any of them. But I don't know. I really don't know. I think there's a lot of weird things, but there's, like someone just said, I don't think Annie would, put her mom in that situation. And I pray to God not, right? But if I didn't say that there was, it's weird that they kept their car longer than anyone. It's weird that it happened on the day that, she goes in an Uber and is dropped off in 2 minutes and they look at their homes and they keep their car longer than anybody. If I told you that wasn't suspicious, in my opinion, I would be lying to you. But I cannot, I hope to God it is not family. I really do, but it's really weird. There's some things. Um, but again, I can't imagine the FBI getting it wrong twice, that they had search warrants to that we know of two other completely random people. I've really never seen a more baffling case than this one. From what it looks like on the outside, yeah. Yeah. Uh, because the way that it's been investigated, again, it's usually like the FBI is usually or law enforcement's kind of going in one direction. Here it's fanned out everywhere. Too many things circle back to the family. I hope it isn't, but it sure leads back that way. I can't disagree with you. I can't disagree with you. Delphi took 5 years. Yeah, I know. I know. It will be solved. This will be solved. I am new and don't know what I'm doing, so bear with me. That's okay, Athena. You got a cute little chihuahua, by the way. Welcome. I have my theory. Venezuelan card. You think so, Sasha? Retaliation? I don't think this is, in my opinion. I don't think that. Retaliation for what? I agree that he blocked it so they couldn't see her being taken away. I think. I really hope that they have more footage. I'm really in that, it's been kind of in the sources that hopefully they'll be getting more footage soon. Which would be nice if they would put some more out. I think Porch Guy was just 1 or 2 or in 3. And just the lookout guy or the delivery guy, I think the planner was someone not involved in the actual kidnapping, but orchestrated it. Grace, I think I think that's very, very, very possible, right? I mean, I think most of us can agree that this is not a family member that we are accustomed to, at least that we can know of, right? But again, I don't feel like this guy's the. He could be a lone person, he could be the only guy, but I just don't see it. I know Alex is not the guy. The noses do not match, but I just wonder, like, what, uh, you talk about Alex, I want to know what took them to Daly's house. What took them to Carlos's house? Again, I don't think it is just some willy nilly thing that took them there with warrants and stuff like that. Her phone holds a lot of answers. The pacemaker connection can disconnect when it is powered off. Mhm. So, like I've always said, it wouldn't surprise me if they go back to one of these houses. In my opinion, the case and the reason is a lot more simpler than we think. Probably. I mean, I think most things are more simpler. I think so. Again, if someone can think of a crime, uh, doing the crime, we can think of how they did it, right? Because there's only nothing new is under the sun, as I always say. And yes, people will go out of their way to not be caught. But even if they go out of their way, even in that, they they take the path of least resistance generally, and it is usually more what's the word I'm looking for? It's usually more simpler than what a lot of people make it out to be. Um, but someone did not want Nancy alive. Um, and again, what would it be that would have an 84-year-old woman not alive anymore? I think the timeline is somehow messed up. I feel very sorry for Savannah. Baby kisses. Yes, sandwich. Uber simply part of TN, in my opinion. I think the timeline's very weird. I think it's very weird how the neighbors saw a car parked at the side of the road when they were walking their dog about the time Nancy was at Tommaso and Annie's house. But I don't believe, in my opinion, Tommaso or Annie were physically there and physically did anything. Um, this case is like a circus. Yeah. Savannah was supposed to go to Italy for the Olympics. I don't know if it was the next day. I knew she was supposed to get ready to go. Hey, Justin and Pearls. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Good to see you, Ines. Good to see you, honey. What couldn't someone get off their behinds and take her home, make sure she gets in? I agree. Take away the family narrative. But this is the thing. So this is, again, so I always talk about like everyone's got two different families, right? You got your mom's side, you got your dad's side of the family. And I always say, like, the families on both sides can be very similar or they can be very different, right? For instance, on one side of my family, uh, we talk about our feelings, right? How we feel. We're very talkative. We hug each other when we see each other. We kiss each other on the cheeks when we see each other. The other side of my family, we don't talk about feelings. We might hug, if we're saying goodbye or, a little thing, but that's, it's not uh, like my other side of the family. And you don't know how like their family is like they might just be like, all right, see you later, peace. And she goes in and, they just not like that. But then I think she's 84 years old, right? Um, Generally at 84 years old, when you're walking with a cane, it doesn't matter how your family is like, you generally make sure they're in there safe, right? That's generally just a kind of a standard practice. I think Savannah losing her sister, Faye is involved. I understand that simply. I do. I do. And it's kind of generally just a universal thing that if someone is ill or elderly, you make sure they're okay. Um, they sure got the warrant quick without any actual real evidence. I mean, the thing about it is, though, Hector, I mean, if they didn't have, they had to have something to get a warrant, a probable cause affidavit for a judge and a DA to agree to both sign it. Now, what is it? I don't see someone just driving past or delivering a package enough to get a DA and a judge to sign off on it. Justin had me rolling. I was trying to fall asleep with the poetry on my poetry last night. Yeah. So those are federal warrants to DA. I know that Savannah didn't like what Annie had said from the beginning, and she wanted to check it out herself, in my opinion. I don't know. That's what I would assume. I would assume Tommy took her home in case she fell or something happened. A man was there. Parents don't want to burden their children, but they should have insisted or someone hired to stay with her. I mean, they seem to not have a problem with hiring people out to do things. No, he never got out of the car. The 2 minutes used to not bother me, but it kind of bothers me now. I thought, you can do a lot in 2 minutes. But 20 seconds the door to open, 20 seconds for it to close, that's 40 seconds. And she was walking with the cane. I want to see that Uber video so bad. That's what I want to see, that Uber video. I want to see her getting in the car, but particularly getting out of the car. The Nest camera bill wasn't even paid. She's had that Nest camera, I think, for nearly 6 years. I showed the receipts last night. I don't know if I have it pulled up or not. Look at this. Oh my God, it's almost 1 o'clock. I gotta go in a second. November 25th, 2021. I'm thinking about buying a Ring or a Nest security camera, doorbell camera. Any suggestions? Which has the best camera? Interested in seeing animal activity at night. Nancy Guthrie. Debbie, how you been, girl? Thank you so much. How you doing? I haven't seen you in 8. Meet you, darling. Really, really do appreciate it. Very kind of you. Thank you for your support, my love. Truly good to see you. Thank you, baby. I just saw what my brother named my camera. Oh, you got to tell us now. Have a look at Nancy's social media, people that follow her or she followed back to see if any risen. I wonder who ordered the Ubers. I guess Nancy would have. Thank you, darling. Good to see you. After those 2 seats, nothing. Is that when the FBI stepped in? After those 2 seats? What do you mean seats? You would have animal feeders if you wanted to attract animals. Thank you, Brandon. These Uber drivers seem to always be present right after. Was what was in those evidence bag at T and A's home? Good question. Good question. And they took Kelsey, you should just name it just after the planet. I don't think that dude has any. Definitely. Got it. Yeah, thank you, love. So, I just had was looking into that guy earlier with the fish thingy. I have I'll just say a PI that I work with, and I will say that after emailing and texting while I'm live and stuff, I mean, I could be completely wrong, but I don't think this guy with the fish has anything to do with it. I'll say that now. I don't think so. Justin, you froze. Didn't you have something for that? Something for what? I don't understand. Why'd I freeze on? I don't know what. Did T and them get their phones back and keep them or trade in? I have no idea. I think he was too old, 56. Oh my God, today is tax day, isn't it? File an extension. Do you think it's weird no one seems to be trying to claim ransom and lying to frame people or confessing? We don't know, how many people are. I'm sure that there are a ton of people that's butt chin. Talking about the dimple thingy, butt chin. They're popular now with the dimples in the things. Everyone's getting those chin implants, and they want the. Remember how like Michael Jackson had the thing, but some people's got them there, but some people's got them like under their lip too. The dimples. Never hurts each. No one said he was the Borch guy for certain. Yeah. I mean, you never know. I'm just saying. We just did a whole gamut of stuff on him, and I don't think he has anything to do with it. Just my opinion. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, darling. I'm really late tonight, actually. My husband and my husband and his boys and grandkids have them. This one, I think there can be very attractive one, guys. Like that. One of my uncles has one like that. We haven't heard from any of NG's friends. They probably just want to stay out of the mess. You know what I mean? They probably just want to stay out of the mess. No, not double chins. With the like the dimple like this. You know how like some people have the dimple right there? Or they'll have it right there. Of seeing Derek Gunn's paperwork yesterday. Thank you. Yes, Brenda. Yeah, if you need it, I've got it. There's some more stuff. There's more documents that I've got that I can show you guys. I'll do that tomorrow. Center of chin. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. It's almost 1 o'clock here. Lord, I can't believe I'm here this late. If they have January 11th, then they have a lot more than we know. I hope. There's some reports that they put out a couple times, and I think we need to go back to some of those. We'll go back to some of those tomorrow. Okay, Daily. I will, darling. And because there's some interesting things in there, and you talk about January 11th. It talks about that, and it talks about some other things. So we'll go to that. Can I put up a face? Pick face. Can I put a pick face of porch? What do you mean? What's up? I've never seen a woman with one until I saw hers. What are you talking about looking beyond? Thank you, darling. Appreciate you. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Justice for Nancy. God, let us pray that she is found. We're at day 70. This has been the longest 70 days. It really has, man. There's been so much. Almost 10 p.m. in California. You're 3 hours behind. You can text it to me, 307 228 4906, or all justice, the number 4, the letter U, at gmail.com. Thank you, guys. God bless each and every one of you. Take good care of yourself. You only get so many trips around the sun. Thank you all for your time. Thank you, mods, members, chat. Really do appreciate you. You have a lot of options, I know. And thank you for being here. Good night.